Welcome back, bike farmers. Here we have a felt, looks like an all-road bike, maybe gravelly thing, but skinnier tires, so road bike. I'd call it an all-road bike. Looks like a decent bike. I checked it out. This bike is one of those where it's like, man, she's just on the edge of things starting to wear out, and it's the end of the season. And so I told her, I'm like, look, you know, a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of lube, a little bit of adjustment, and some new brake pads. I think we can stretch things out. You know, we don't have to do any like major service. You know, like the bar tape can last, the chain can last, and like just maybe next summer bring it in and we'll replace the chain and some other things. She's having some bottom bracket issues with this bike. It's a press fit felt something or another. She said she already had it replaced once under warranty, so I suggested she take it back to where she got it and have a felt dealer deal with that. You know, I don't stock a whole lot of these, you know, proprietary bottom bracket things, so I'd have to like take it apart and figure out what it is and then order it and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know, I'm probably not the best place. So but I told her, you know, you can ride it as is. It's just going to get a little bit wobblier over time. I don't really know what's going on with it, but I did suggest brake pads, but I think the tires will last her, you know, another half a season or so. So that was my assessment on it, and she was happy with that. So we're going to kind of keep the cost down on this. But you know, really these road bikes go pretty quick. With all the internal cable housing and everything, I just kind of leave well enough alone. If I feel a lot of corrosion or something, I'll pull a cable and clean it and put it back in. But if it's working good, I just don't even touch it. I just clean and adjust at that point. You know, the lubrication of the cables, I just kind of let it slide on these road bikes. And yeah, so here we go. Per the usual, we're just gonna pull the wheels off. Looks like 6mm Allen key. These through axles ought to do it. Set those guys aside for cleaning. Let's take these pads out and take a closer look. Now that I have the wheel out, I'm looking at them and there's still quite a bit of meat on these pads. So I'm gonna leave them. You know, I'm not gonna, I already sold her the pads, but I don't like to sell people things they don't need. I think if we're gonna wait on the rest of the stuff, we're gonna wait on this too. So this is just gonna be a quickie clean up and make the necessary adjustments, and you know, I'll check over everything and just do what's right. Focusing in on the nether regions of this bicycle. I'm gonna hit it with some Dawn Power Wash, right? And then I've got kind of a filthy rag. These matte finishes are really hard to clean. I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time cleaning here. But you can see what that Dawn Power Wash does. And this is a dirty rag. Might be a little too dirty for the matte finish, but there's a lot of gunk. I think she rides this a lot on the glacial drumlin crushed limestone path we have here in town. So I cram the rag down in here. Do some flossing of the nether regions. Right. And there's a nice spot we can drop some lube. Right here. Drip some lube down in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. But if I drop some lube, it kind of, gravity just sucks it right down in there. Okay, this is a slightly cleaner rag. And come at it again with the floss technique. Get around that crank. Ugh. Really not too sure about these bottle cages she has on here either. Yeah, she mentioned the bottom bracket, and I was like, this is a great bike. I'm a big fan of these all-road bikes in general. The aluminum frames, I like it. I like it more than carbon, you know, for the average Joe. But why not just have a normal bottom bracket? I don't get it. You know? That old standard is just fine. It's great, actually. I'm just gonna do that to the whole bike now. Doing my best to not get cleaner on those brake pads. All right, let's do some wheels. Again, try to keep the chemicals off the discs. So this rag has some dampness to it. Just kind of reach in here. Interesting, these are Bontrager wheels on a felt bicycle. And wipe each spoke down, run through the rim, and then I rub in between the spokes here. Another kind of version of flossing. It's a very straight wheel. It's got one little spot here. Nice. Excellent, actually. Actually, it's excellent. Putting the disc on the left side here because I'm right-handed. And that allows me to get at the hub here with my right hand and the finger. And we'll do the same thing to this wheel. The main complaint that she had with this bike was with the shifting. So we may learn something there. I'm guessing it's just the usual basic adjustment. You know, she bought this bike, she's ridden it a bunch. She's never had it tuned up. So it's probably just the standard break-in stuff. I think I did even just make a quick tweak to it in the stand and really help things out, you know, just a loose cable. But she wanted me to just go through everything anyway. It's never a bad idea to have things checked out. Didn't hear any rubbing there. Don't expect to hear any rubbing here. Oh. Here we go. Give it a good snug. Headset's very loose. Looks like we got 4 millimeters here, maybe a 5 on top. So we'll loosen these stem clamping bolts. Okay, now everything can kind of slide up and down. Then I'm gonna turn this top one in, which it doesn't want to turn. So I'm gonna loosen it. I'm gonna loosen these a little more. All right. Yeah, you can see it flopping around now. I'm gonna drop some lube in that bolt head, let it kind of soak down underneath. Wiggle it around, see what happens. Might need to add a spacer here. Yeah, it's still loose. So when that's the case, I think, you know, I'm not going to add a spacer here because that'll change the fit of her bike. But if I add one up top, then we're safe, right? We can add one up top and still haven't add enough. Essentially, you're adding to the steer tube. So to do that, I'm going to take this little strap, strap the wheel to the frame. Probably should have done it there, but just so the fork doesn't come flying out. Uh-oh, what have I done? Well, things are too tight. Oh man. What is the deal? Shoot. New bikes. I hate modern bikes. Have I told you that? Anything in the last 10 years just is so hard to work on. It's all because of carbon fiber. I'm such a Luddite. I'm gonna wrestle with this off camera. I mean, of course it was totally my fault, right? You know, I cranked down on that and then it got stuck and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, what I'm doing here is because this is all bottomed out with this, you know, there's no way to tighten it anymore. So I have to add this little spacer because all we need is like half a turn's worth of adjustment. And if you put the spacer on the top, you'll get that. So it's actually easier to do with a three-way. Once I get things realigned, oop, take my little strap off there. There we go. No more rattling. Fixed. Wasn't so bad. I still don't like modern bikes. I like a good steel steer tube with a star nut. But no, you gotta press fit everything into the frames and hide everything and make it slick and arrow and then wire everything through the frames and make it impossible to work on, and it's maddening. This rear brake needs a little tightening. So we're gonna loosen the anchor bolt. Just pull on the cable just a smidge. Tighten it back down. Feels a little better. I'm gonna give it a little more. Not much. And there's a spot we can drop some lube too. This is a good one too. That anytime you have a hole facing up, water is gonna, moisture will get in there and then collect down in there. So it's good to get some lube down there. This feels very, very slick yet, so I'm not too concerned about it. Shifting feels pretty sloppy. Might be because I had it in between gears in front. Probably had a lot to do with it. So I'm just going to take some one step here on this chain, spray the crap out of it. And then wipe it off. And keep finding a new surface on the rag. This just gets some of that gunk off. cleaning and lubricating as we go. Ow! I'm gonna lose a finger one of these days. Bladed spokes. That suck. Here's something I'm gonna do. Look at how big this is. Maybe that isn't too big. I was gonna shorten that. Can we shorten it a little? I think we can. Kill two birds with one stone. I'm gonna loosen this guy. And hopefully, yep. Okay, and cut it right about there. This is my good Hosan cutters. Because you want everything to be straight and a clean cut. And this cable is frayed. It's always risky to do this, folks. You never know what you're gonna find. Alright, so this cable's a little frayed, but it's frayed way down here where it was clamped. It's not frayed up at the top. So, as long as we keep it clean, I'm going to cut a little bit of this housing off. Got a new ferrule here. Alright. Then we're going to cut the cable clean. So I just cut the frayed part off. Does not exist anymore for all you people freaking out right now. Oh, might as well lubricate that, right? It's a slick cable, slick stainless cable, and I can tell we're very, very clean in there. This is all kind of overkill. But I think best in the long run. So normally I'd want more cable than that, and it's not long enough. All right. I do not want to run a new cable through this whole bike. Can of worms. Cut some more off. See if I can get enough to get a clamp on it. There we go. Is it too short now though? We're gonna find out. No, that's good. It's way cleaner, I think. The front cable is very loose. So we're gonna try to tighten that front one manually. These are finicky drive trains. 10 speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. So these 10 speed Shimano drivetrains can be very finicky, especially these front derailleurs. So we're gonna kind of over tightening it. Then there's a barrel adjuster, inline barrel adjuster up. And we can kind of, yeah, okay, we're good. Yep, intermediate's working. Yeah, this is working great. I had to take a little more housing off than I'd want, but it's working fine, so I think we got away with it. Okay, front brake feels about the same as the rear. Let's get a shot of that. Just checking, make sure that both brakes are pulling about the same. Yeah, they're about the same, so that's good. Everything's moving freely. 2 thumbs up. I'm gonna run through the gears quick, even though I just did. Chain looks like it wants to be wiped a little more. Real nice. Feels so much better with that headset adjustment. Going through and dropping some lube and some bolt heads here. Just kind of makes things look a little cleaner. Checking some other bolts, make sure they're tight. Oh, those are good. Yeah, buddy. That looks good. Well, thanks again for tuning in and sticking with it this far. If you made it this far and liked what you saw and want to see more, please hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, click the notification bell, do the things. It really helps. That's what the algorithm's looking for. It knows what you like and it'll give you more, and it'll help actually all of the channels, similar channels, you know. That's why we do what we do here. Well, I do this because I really like bicycles and just thought, hey, maybe I could film it and people would enjoy watching it, because I watch all guys doing all kinds of stuff on YouTube and really like it. So then I always subscribe and like to the channels that I see benefit from. So if you see any benefit, please do it. It really helps. And that's it for this bike. I am going to give it a test ride and let the customer know it's ready to be picked up. So I will see you next time.